Hey guys, it's Kyle Thompson here with eXp Realty, bringing you another monthly market update, and this week we're going to be covering apartments. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so at a glance, we had 54 new listings, 25 new sales. The average list price was $487,208. The average sale price was $469,420. The average sale price to list ratio was 96.5%. Average days on market was 54.56, and we ended the month with an inventory of 144. So let's jump over and take a look at the market conditions first. As always, I like to use the monthly supply of inventory method as well as the sales to new listing ratio, as I find using both numbers gives a more complete picture of what's going on in the market. And when we look at the monthly supply of inventory method, we see that last month we came in at 6.11, which puts us into buyer's market territory. If we use the sales to list ratio instead, we came in at 46%, which is in a neutral market, but it is starting to trend towards a buyer's market. Now, let's take a look at the active inventory. So, in May, we had 54 new listings, which is 2 down from the prior month of 56. For the first time in 6 months, we had lower sales than we did the month before, falling from 33 down to 25, and expireds ticked up from 8 up to 14. So it does look like the condo market is starting to slow. However, the benchmark price for an apartment in Kamloops did rise $500 from $373,400 to $373,900. Now let's jump over and take a look at the end of month inventory. Last month we ended the month with an inventory of 144, which is about 12% below the 10-year average of 129 for this time of the year. It is also the highest amount of inventory for this time of the year, going back to 2020, which was obviously an outlier year, and prior to that it's the highest going back to 2016. So now let's take a look at the new listings. So far, year to date, there's been 263 new apartment listings, which is about 18% above the 10-year average of 223. If we take a look at the sales instead, we see that so far, year to date, we've had 120 apartment sales, which is about 15% below the 10-year average of 141. Now let's take a look at the sales dashboard, starting off with average sale price. This table is measuring year-over-year changes, so a full year over a full year. And when we look at it that way, prices are up about 1.64%, with the areas of town that have been faring the best being Sun Peaks, Valley View, Dallas, and North Cam, being up in price anywhere between 17 up to 32%. As of now, the most expensive areas of town are Tobiano, Westside, and Valley View, ranging from $468,000 and change up to $522,000 and change on average, whereas the cheapest areas of town are Sun Rivers, North Cam, and Brock, with an average sale price ranging from $323,000 and change up to $376,000 and change. Now, let's take a look at the sales to list price ratio. So all this is an average of how much properties are selling below the list price. So it's a good proxy for how much negotiating room there is when you are a buyer. And last month we came in at 96.5%, which is one of the lower readings going back over the last year. And this is the lowest reading going back until December, actually. So there is a little bit more room for negotiating when you are the buyer. Now let's take a look at sales by sub-area. Once again, this table is measuring full year over full year changes, and when looked at that way, sales are up about 4.43% year over year, with the busiest areas of town being South Cam, Sahali, and Sun Peaks, making up over 50% of the total sales. Now let's take a look at how long it's taking properties to sell, starting off with the 10-year. So far year to date, it's taken an average of 50 days for apartments to sell, which is about 28% below the 10-year average of 69. If we look at it by the trailing 12 months instead, we see that last month in May, it took 55 days on average for apartments to sell, which is about 8% above the 12-month average of 51. Finally, let's take a look at it by sub-area. Again, this table is measuring full year over full year, and when we look at it that way, apartments are actually selling about 16% faster than they were the year prior, falling from 63 days on average down to 53, and the fastest areas of town currently selling are Dallas, Tobiano, and Valley View, ranging between 19 to 41 days on average, whereas the slowest areas of town to sell are Sun Peaks, North Kamloops, and West Side, ranging anywhere between 77 up to 161 days. So to summarize what's been going on with the apartment market in Kamloops, as of right now, we're having lots of new listings coming online, inventory is building, sales are slowing compared to the prior years, and whilst the apartments are still selling quite quickly when looking at a 10-year trend, if we look at just the last year, it is starting to slow, and it seems as if the market is shifting more towards a buyer's market. I hope that you guys are continuing to get some value out of these market updates. If you are, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. And as always, if you feel like some of these charts are hard to read, or maybe you need a better explanation on certain things, please feel free to leave your comments and suggestions in the comment section below, and I will get to them as soon as I'm able. Thanks for watching.